My next guest is going to be returning to action coming up here November 28th at UFC Fight Night. It is Amir Albazi joining me here on the program. Amir, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. It is really cool to see you back in action here so quickly after the last fight. But let's talk about that UFC debut you had against Malcolm Gordon. Really tough opponent. You went out there, you took care of business. I believe you're the underdog, I think, too, heading into that fight. Could that fight have gone any better? You don't get paid by the hour.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get paid for overtime, so I'm always looking for the finish. If I can get the finish, it's there, I take it. If it's not, I just continue doing my job. But to be honest, I didn't understand why I was underdog in that fight. But it is what it is. I showed my skills against a Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So
yeah, no, it was a great performance. Did you expect to finish him that quickly in the fight?
I finished a lot of people in the first round, second round, so I always expect that. I don't think anyone in the division can handle my jiu-jitsu, so let's see for the next one.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely see that on display. That fight was in July. I know you were supposed to fight Halloween night, but of course your opponent, Paiva, ended up having to withdraw from the fight. Was there any talk of a replacement, or were they just looking to rebook you at that point?
No, they were just. I just heard that Paiva got a serious knee injury, and that I was gonna get a new opponent soon. So I just kept training, kept doing my stuff, and I feel more than ready for 28.
Yeah, no, and let's talk about who you're going to be facing here. Zhumagulov, 13-4 record, very experienced opponent. How do you feel like you match up against him here?
I think he doesn't. I don't think he have anything that's gonna surprise me on fight day. So I'm just looking to go in and do exactly what I did in July and hopefully get out with a 50G bonus this time.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. What type of camp have you had leading into this? I know we still got a lot of, little bit of time before the fight, but how did you structure your training camp this time around?
The camp have been going great. Everything is great. Weight cut been going great. I can't complain. I just had basically extra time to prepare for this fight, and I always prepare for everyone if they, tall, short, wrestler, jiu-jitsu, striker, so I feel more than ready for anything. Even if they change my opponent now this next coming week, I'm going to be ready.
Yeah, you sort of focus more on what you're good at and try and bring that to the fight as opposed to worrying about your opponent by the sounds of it.
Exactly. I don't focus so much on what my opponent does, because like we can see, it keeps changing. Sometimes someone gets out, another one gets in, so I don't get really bogged down on what they doing. I focus on what I'm supposed to do and make sure I do it on fight day.
Do you watch tape at all, or is that something your coach does?
Mostly my coaches, but I watch a bit as well to just get a general idea how my opponent fight and stuff like that. But my coaches do their main job.
And who have been some of your main training partners for this camp?
I've been having amazing training partners, Farid Bashrat, Javid Bashrat, two upcoming brothers here from the UK. Had very good sparring down in London, shoot fighters. I feel more than ready for this one. I can't wait. It's just a week and it's already itching, itching to get in the cage. And
if I'm not mistaken, this is your first time fighting in Las Vegas, correct?
Yeah, this is the first time. So just the whole Las Vegas experience is going to be nice.
Yeah.
I'm flying out in 2 days, so I can't wait and just go see what Vegas have for me. And
is this the first time you've ever actually been to Vegas, aside from fighting there? Have you ever been to Vegas before?
No, I never been to Vegas. I've been to California, but it was like 10 years ago for a Jiu-Jitsu training camp and Jiu-Jitsu World Championships there. But that was the last time I was in the States.
Is that like a milestone for you? I know for a lot of fighters to be able to fight in Vegas, that's like on the top of the bucket list. Is that the same for you, or is it just another destination?
To be honest, for me, it's just another destination.
Okay, I like the honesty, though.
I don't care if I fight in a alleyway or if it's the only special place I would like to fight is the MGM Grand, of course, where all the greats been. That would be really special.
Yeah. You got to do some shows back there again, because right now I think everything's at the apex, right, with COVID. But hopefully when they open things back up, they do a split between T-Mobile and MGM Grand, because they haven't been to the MGM Grand for a while because of the new T-Mobile arena.
Exactly. But that place, I would say, is special for me.
And then also, in terms of training camp and with COVID-19 and everything that's sort of happening right now, have you been limited at all? Like, because I know there's some restrictions going on right now.
A bit here and there, but nothing too crazy that affects me too much. Like, we have a group of professional fighters that train, that are allowed to train, so we're still doing our work. And shops are not open, so I can't eat the good stuff, so it makes my diet a bit better, I guess.
Right, yeah. Stay away from that bad
I
food.
focus basically on training only. So there's nothing to do outside. The only thing I can do is go to the gym and train. And that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
It's going to be Farid Bashrat and Michael Shipman. My main sidekick, Farid Bashrat, he's been with me on the last of my 4 or 5 fights. Yeah. Another pro fighter, up and coming, so feels good to be traveling together.
That's awesome. How's the fight playing out on November 28th? How do you envision the fight playing out?
I don't have any specific thing in my head. I just, when I'm there, I just react. And usually ends up with a finish somehow. So I just let the magic happen.
Obviously, big fight coming up here on the 28th, like I mentioned. Is the plan to, get a quick turnaround after this, or are you going to try and enjoy the holidays and then maybe reassess for next year?
Maybe just, I don't celebrate Christmas or anything like that. So if UFC wants me in, I'm good to go.
Okay, that makes sense. And do you see yourself, the flyweight division is really interesting right now, right? Because, we have sort of a new reign right now. At the time we're recording this, Davison Figueiredo was going to fight Alex Perez. But, the division seems like it's finally moving along from Demetrius Johnson, who had reigned the division for so long. Like, for example, do you feel like a win for you here could kind of get you up the rankings pretty quickly because there just aren't a ton of flyweights right now?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. After Demetrius Johnson being so dominant all over the years, and after they took away flyweight, I feel like now all the flyweights is fighting with a chip on their shoulder, which we're trying to actually, perform, finish people, and show that this technical, entertaining weight class. So I'm loving it, and I definitely think in a couple of fights I'm gonna be ready for that belt.
And we talked all about, fighting and all that. What do you like doing outside of the cage? What are some of your hobbies? I don't know if you play any video games or you watch any Netflix. What would I find you doing when you're not training?
Man, I like nature. I'm pretty chilled out. So for me, it's just the simple things in life I enjoy. I enjoy going out to the woods, making a fire, hanging out, having a good convo with friends. That's what
great.
I enjoy.
So do you camp as well?
I try to. Here in London, it's a bit harder. But when I used to live in Sweden, it was a lot easier. We had nature all around us, and we had camping a lot more camping places. So I used to do that.
When you were in Sweden, did you ever watch any hockey?
Hockey is everywhere. It's almost the national sport.
Yeah.
I wanted to do hockey when I was young, but it was way too expensive with the equipment.
No, it does add up. I live in Canada, so hockey's really huge here. So that's why I asked, because I know there's a lot of really famous players from Sweden, right? That were in the NHL and still are in the NHL, right? So
yeah, it's very big in Sweden. It's very big, but for me, I'm from Iraq, man.
No, I know for sure. I wouldn't imagine hockey's on your radar being from Iraq. Yeah, there's not many hockey teams in Iraq right now, right? So
I tried skiing and stuff, but I feel it's not my thing. I prefer the heat.
No, for sure. We're looking forward to this fight, man. November 28th, UFC Fight Night. Amir, it was great talking to you, man. I really appreciate the time. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours, man.
Thank you. I want to thank the Bloom Plant and Equipment, my sponsors. Thank you so much for everything. They've been helping me, supporting me a lot since my first UFC fight. And 28th of November is going to go down. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Amir Albazi, exactly how it sounds, how my name is spelled, you'll find me there for more updates.